Welcome to a couple of Rad Techs podcast, season 6. Thank you all for being here. Whether you are a seasoned radiologic technologist and medical imaging professional looking to refresh your career, or you're a student seeking guidance in the radiology field, or someone ready to make a career change, we've got you covered. We've got a fresh new look, more episodes based on your request, and all the tips, insights, and inspiration that you're going to need to thrive in this amazing field of medical imaging, radiation therapy, and radiologic technology. Our mission is simple here at a couple of Rad Techs podcasts. We're here to spread positivity about this profession of radiologic technology and medical imaging, empower you with valuable advice, and help you level up your career no matter your age or stage. Grab that coffee or whatever you're doing at this moment, and let's dive into this week's episode. It's time to take your radiologic technology and medical imaging journey to the next level. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just missing opportunities, I was missing connection. So I went back to ASRT, re-engaged with the community, and everything shifted for me. When was the last time you felt truly supported in your career, not just at work, but by a professional community that gets you? If you're like most imaging professionals, your day is filled with back-to-back exams, troubleshooting equipment, and keeping patients calm. And somewhere in all that chaos, it's easy to feel isolated. But here's the thing, you don't have to navigate this profession alone. In today's episode of A Couple of Rad Techs, we're talking about why networking and leadership matter in medical imaging and how the ASRT community can change your career path, your confidence, and your opportunities. Let me take you back to a time in my career when I felt like I was just coasting, you guys. I was a member of the ASRT, but I wasn't taking full advantage of my membership. Early on, I was active. I did the direct readings. I stayed engaged with my colleagues at work, and I felt like I had a pulse on what was happening in our profession. But over time, life and work got busy, right? You can relate. And I started slipping. I stopped doing the direct readings. I wasn't checking in on ASRT updates. I thought I was fine until I realized I was scrambling to find quality CE credits. I was out of the loop on professional changes and had no idea that roles like radiologist assistant or informatics-focused imaging careers even existed. I mean, I heard about radiologist assistant 20 years ago when I first started out in the field, but it was just chatter, and I didn't keep my ear to the ground. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just missing opportunities, I was missing connection. So I went back to ASRT, re-engaged with the community, and everything shifted for me. I found support, mentorship, and resources that helped me step back into leadership and professional growth. So what is the power of professional networking? We're going to break it down here. Networking isn't about handing out business cards or asking someone to scan your QR code or adding them to your email list, or making small talk at conferences. It's about connection. When you network through ASRT, a great way for those who struggle to network is networking through the ASRT. You meet people who get what you go through, the burnout, back-to-back shifts, workplace politics, right? Not being able to navigate the salary negotiation. You hear how other departments are solving the same problems you're facing. You discover jobs, leadership opportunities, and mentorships you've never even known existed. In my case, it's how I have filled my podcast, A Couple of Rad Techs, with top guests who speak directly to the realities of the medical imaging and radiation therapy profession. We are your medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals. Ours is one of the most important medical professions in history, and it's time for us to be seen. The American Society of Radiologic Technologists, the world's oldest and largest medical imaging and radiation therapy professional association, prioritizes radiologic technology professions through high-quality education, community building, and unrelenting state and national advocacy. See more about how the ASRT is elevating the medical imaging and radiation therapy profession at asrt.org/be seen. Let me give you an example. A department I worked in was struggling with how they move their patients strategically throughout and in a timely manner. Our wait times were long, our schedule was chaotic, and morale was dropping. Through networking at an ASRT virtual event, my manager was able to connect with a CT supervisor at a larger trauma hospital who had implemented a time blocking strategy to streamline urgent versus routine scans. They touched bases, and after a few calls and sharing workflows, we were able to apply the same concept in our department with real success. The morale went up, you guys. It was a lifesaver. That's just one of the powers of networking. Sometimes one conversation can save you months, years of stress and lead to real solutions. And let's not forget mentorship. Some of the most important advice I've ever received didn't come from a textbook. It came from seasoned technologists in the ASRT community who had walked the road ahead of me. They didn't just help me troubleshoot problems. They helped me grow into a better leader, communicator, and educator. So what does the ASRT's leadership pipeline look like? Here's something you might not know. ASRT doesn't just offer CE credits. They actually develop leaders, and they've been doing it for decades. So I know that's like a mind shift change for many of us, right? Because we started school, we knew about the ASRT, but we just knew that's a good way to track your CE credits. And it's a good way to get some direct readings, to keep up with your education. But developing leaders, oh my goodness. They have state affiliate programs where you can get involved locally. Many technologists begin their leadership journey by joining their state societies. I'm a member of my state society. I get to practice being a speaker. I get to practice negotiations, learning new updated things about my profession. Yeah, often leading to speaking opportunities or organizing community events. I even get to get some cool CE credits done as well. You have volunteer committees with the ASRT. These shape the direction of the profession. These aren't just meetings. They're think tanks where professionals like you and I, actual technologists, you guys, decide what issues need attention, from legislation to technology advancements. There are also mentorship programs that pair you with experienced professionals, whether you're just starting out or looking to transition into education or management. You'll find someone who's walked the path and is willing to guide you. I hear all the time from my social media community, oh my goodness, I don't know who I can reach out to. Maybe they feel like the technologists that they work with are not sharing all the information. They may not know, you guys, but being a member of the ASRT can guide you to the right mentors, which can help you prepare your career trajectory. And that's important, to have the right mentor that can help you guide your career, because most of us sometimes don't even know where we want to go. We don't know what this profession has to offer. So when we do get the right mentor and we're in a situation where there are options for us to choose from different mentors based on our strengths and our goals in the imaging profession, I'm going to tell you, it's just going to be gold. Now, I want to go back to volunteer committees. Some people say, well, I don't have time to even just work and take care of my own things. This is really cool about the volunteer communities. You're not required to give XYZ amount of time. They offer options to you. You can choose. You can say yes. You can say no. This is amazing. Your state affiliate programs. Some people wonder, well, I don't have time to go to all of these meetings. I probably have been to maybe 2 meetings in our whole year. And that was just last year in 2024. And I got so much from those 2 meetings, got so many connections. I really enjoyed myself. I learned a lot. And I just know the local and state affiliate programs is a great way to start, to get your feet wet, to learn what it looks like on a larger scale, to get involved on a smaller scale. Now, fourth, governance opportunities, where technologists help shape policy and direction at a national level. Members who begin as volunteers often find themselves running for elected positions within ASRT, contributing to real changes in how our profession is represented and respected. How many times do we make social media videos, maybe out of humor, but seriousness? We make social media videos about people calling us button pushers, people calling us technicians, people saying that, oh, anyone can do your job. You guys don't do anything but press buttons. I can't believe you guys go to school for 2 years to do what you do. And this is even coming from the healthcare profession sometimes, others that are outside of imaging. Not only are we seeing those misrepresentations, myths, and untruths about our profession, and continue to be said today, even by healthcare professionals, is also inside of the legislation where individuals are not required in some states to hold any kind of license or certification, and there's no one watching them to see if they are even giving radiation safely, right? So these things are so important, and we see it as technologists. And unfortunately, it does give a bad light on our profession, where people start to think anybody can do that job. Well, no, anybody cannot do that job. And it is important that some laws are put in place because radiation is very dangerous. And what we do is serious. It requires education and continuing education. That's another part of it, is making sure the ASRT is very proud to make sure that individuals keep up with their education when it comes to getting your registry. How are you staying current? Are you staying current based on curriculum that is tried and tested, that actually works to keep the patient safe, to educate the technologists with all the technology that's coming out there? We have so much technology that you need to stay current. You need to go to conferences. So whether you want to be an educator, a department director, a PACS administrator, or a thought leader in the industry, ASRT has built-in paths to help you get there. And leadership doesn't always mean management, you guys. I know I thought the same thing, and my mind has changed because I've learned that leadership isn't management. It means you're using your voice, you're sharing your experience, and helping to guide the next generation. Sometimes it means speaking on a panel. Other times it means mentoring a student who just passed their boards. And sometimes it means making social media content, having a podcast like a couple of RadTech's podcasts. Either way, ASRT makes sure you're not doing it alone. Here are some real world examples. I met so many technologists through the ASRT who have transformed their careers just by getting involved. Like a fellow MRI tech who started attending ASRT webinars, joined a committee, and eventually became a speaker at national conferences. Wow. This is how the ASRT networks and grows and develops leaders. Again, it's not just managing CE credits, you guys. Here's another real world example. A mammographer who felt stuck at her mammography clinic, but found a mentor through ASRT who helped her transition into a QA or quality assurance and educator role. Now, many of you may not even have heard of that opportunity. These are not just feel-good stories. These are real technologists who made real moves because they tapped into the ASRT community. Could you offer a real story after you joined the ASRT? I would love to know what your real story is, how you've pivoted, how you've transitioned, how you've grown as a leader, how your career has changed by taking advantage of some of the opportunities that we have mentioned in this podcast. So what do I need you guys to do? Here's my question to you. Are you ready to be part of something bigger than your badge and shift schedule? The ASRT community is waiting for you with open arms, real opportunities, and the kind of professional support that makes a lifelong difference. If you've been feeling stuck, disconnected, or unsure about your next step, this is your sign. Join the ASRT, show up in the community, and watch what happens. Because being a great medical imaging and radiation therapist isn't just about knowing your anatomy or protocols. It's about who you surround yourself with. Discover how the ASRT is elevating the medical imaging and radiation therapy profession at asrt.org/be seen. That's www.asrt.org/be seen. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If this episode helped you see your career in a new way, share it with another technologist who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next episode. If you found this podcast helpful, you can leave it on Apple or Spotify, and we greatly appreciate it. Until then, keep showing up, keep growing, keep leading. And that's a wrap for this episode of A Couple of Rad Techs podcast. We hope you enjoyed our discussion of the fascinating world of radiology and learned something new about the role we play in the healthcare industry. If you have any questions or topics that you'd love for us to cover, feel free to reach out and let us know what they are. And you guys, please, if you enjoyed this podcast or any of the other episodes, we want to hear what you thought. Leave us a review. Mama's got to pay her bills. It helps. And until next time, stay tuned for more insightful and informative episodes of A Couple of Rad Techs podcast. All right, y'all, quick break, but this is something really close to my heart. If you're loving this podcast, then you're going to love what we've created. Rachel the Radiographer, a children's book that finally puts us on the map. It's fun, it's educational, and it's different because it's written by a real medical imaging technologist. Yep, me, Chandria. I am a radiologic technologist, MRI technologist, and CT technologist. And Rachel, she's on a mission to show kids that healthcare is so much more than just doctors and nurses. Most people don't know this, but we are the largest healthcare profession in the nation. Yet somehow we're invisible when it comes to early education. That's where Rachel steps in. This book introduces children, especially in elementary schools, libraries, and even hospitals, to the world of X-rays, MRIs, nuclear medicine, radiation therapy, in a way that's friendly, engaging, and easy to understand. Educators love it because it's the perfect storytime read that ties right into STEM education, career awareness, and eases fear around medical exams. Parents love it. Technologists love it. And most importantly, kids get it. And here's the cherry on top. A portion of every book sale goes towards a $500 scholarship we award every year to a student in a radiologic technology program. So if you want to support the next generation and help spread awareness about our field, head over to racheltheradiographer.com. That's racheltheradiographer.com. Let's get this book in more hands and more imaginations. Now let's get back into the podcast.